New decade, new MCU. Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is kicking off with a bang on screens both big and small, and naturally, the Super Bowl was prime time to showcase some of the upcoming projects Marvel Studios has waiting in the wings. Naturally, with 30 seconds of footage, we were left with some pretty major questions for all three, but that's where the fun can really begin. GameSpot rounded up their biggest and most obsessive MCU and Marvel Comics fans to start doing what they do best, theorizing wildly over every tiny scrap of information passed their way. At the end of Avengers Endgame, Captain America handed off his shield to Sam, a passing of the torch, but maybe Sam doesn't want the mantle. Obviously, as we've seen in the trailers, someone is in a Cap-like suit, but it isn't Sam. It's John Walker, aka US Agent. We see Sam throwing the shield, but later, we see him decked out in his classic Falcon costume, all wings, no shield to be found. We can't tell what order these events happen in the show based on these clips alone, of course, but the question remains, what if the Falcon and Winter Soldier just pulled the trigger and didn't make him Captain America? Wanda is still an Avenger, living in a world where Thanos was defeated and everyone was unsnapped. However, Vision, for all intents and purposes, is dead. The last time we saw him, Thanos ripped the Mind Stone from his head and he was no more. However, Shuri was trying to save him during Infinity War. What if Shuri accomplished her mission and uploaded his consciousness onto a computer in Wakanda? Everything happening on the show could actually be a weird computer simulation, as Vision has no way to cope with the traumatic experiences that happened to him during the transfer into the computer. Infinity Stones are weird, right? They're unpredictable and magical, and we're not even sure entirely how they work. When the Mind Stone was ripped from Vision's head, maybe his essence or consciousness went with it, so he never truly died. The series WandaVision could just be Vision coping with being trapped in the Mind Stone, and that's why it's so bizarre. There's a brief moment in the trailer where Scarlet Witch and Vision are standing over two cribs and two pacifiers shoot up into the air, one blue, the other pink. In the comics, the couple had two kids, Thomas and William, who would later become Wiccan and Speed of the Young Avengers. The kids are canon within the MCU, so this could be the beginning of a Young Avengers movie or TV show, like 14 years before Thomas and William became heroes. Loki, or Avengers Era Loki, who fled the scene back in Avengers Endgame, seems to have been caught by someone or something. We see him here in what looks like a prison uniform with an orange logo emblazoned on the chest. It looks like it spells out TVA, which would be pretty appropriate under the circumstances. In Marvel Comics, the TVA is the Time Variance Authority, the sort of meta-gag that functioned as a bureaucratic continuity policing agency modeled after real-life Marvel writer/editor Mark Grunwald. By blipping out of the, admittedly already extremely screwed up Avengers Endgame timeline with the Tesseract, there's absolutely no doubt that Loki would have ended up on the TVA's radar, and he doesn't seem to be too happy about it.
I'm gonna burn this place to the ground.
A brief clip of US agents attending what looks like a high school pep rally, complete with an A-branded marching band, tells us everything we need to know about the MCU's take on the new character, which is to say, is likely going to follow very, very closely to his comic book counterpart. In the books, Walker used big-budget propaganda techniques to make himself look like a favorable alternative to the current Captain America, who he smeared as old, outdated, and ineffective. Unfortunately, Walker himself was actually a zealous nationalist who used his own patriotism to terrorize anyone who didn't fall in line with his own misguided values. It seems like Bucky and Zemo have still got some major issues to work out with one another, which is probably pretty unsurprising to anyone who watched Captain America's Civil War. A shot in this trailer seems to indicate that Bucky may even have a chance to shoot Zemo dead to rights, but rather than actually making the kill, opts to empty the clip from his gun with his metal hand. Maybe this is an act of mercy, or maybe it's just another bit of fuel in the fire of their rivalry. One thing is certain, whatever happens between the two of them is going to have some messy results. One of Marvel's greatest anti-hero, or well, fake hero, it gets a little complicated and depends on which area you're looking at, teams, the Thunderbolts, was actually started by none other than Baron Zemo, in disguise as a new hero named Citizen V, with a bunch of other villains and new heroic alter egos. They may have started as a conniving, underhanded ploy to topple some of the Marvel Universe's most powerful heroic organizations from the inside out, but after a while, the Thunderbolts actually did become kind of sort of heroic. and we'd really love to see them crop up in the MCU. There might actually be a chance if Bucky and Sam really do decide to spare Zemo's life. And that wraps up our theories based off of these 3 trailers. What do you think is the most plausible and the most unplausible of them? Let us know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.